I still remember that seemingly ordinary evening when my world was suddenly painted in shades of intrigue and unspoken promises. I was home alone, a quiet hum of city life drifting through my window, when an encrypted email appeared unexpectedly in my inbox. Its subject was a jumble of letters and numbers, an indecipherable code that, to most, would have seemed like an error or spam. But to me, it was a beacon, an invitation into a realm I had only dared to imagine in the most secret corners of my mind. I hesitated before clicking the message open, my pulse quickening as my eyes traced the cold, cryptic characters on the screen. I had grown accustomed over the years to receiving messages of this nature, cryptic, mysterious, and always laden with a sense of urgency. But this one was different. There was an electric charge in its very being that suggested this was not just another random alert, it was a meticulously crafted summons. The email confirmed reservations at an ultra-chic hotel, one that I had only heard whispers about in hushed tones among the city's most clandestine circles. Even more provocative were the details of a decadent, private dinner date, arranged in secrecy, far removed from the prying eyes of the public. Every word seemed chosen with the precision of a master storyteller, weaving a narrative that beckoned me to step into a world where mystery and desire intertwined. My mind raced as I tried to piece together the implications. I recalled countless moments in my past when I had brushed against the edges of hidden worlds, a fleeting glance at a secret meeting spot, an overheard conversation that hinted at something more, the thrill of unmasking a truth that others wished to keep buried. Yet, never before had I encountered an invitation so direct, so charged with potential, that it forced me to confront the desires I had long kept at bay. I was no stranger to risk, and I had often found beauty in danger, but this felt like a decisive turning point, a moment when the boundaries of my safe existence were about to be shattered. I spent the next several hours poring over the encrypted message, dissecting each line with the fervor of a detective determined to uncover every hidden nuance. Every detail of the message carried weight, the precise time and location, the subtle hints at the nature of the dinner, and the promise of a private encounter that would leave an indelible mark on my soul. I began to reconstruct the scenario in my mind, a secluded, opulent hotel that exuded elegance and mystery, a venue where modern sophistication met timeless charm, and where every corner seemed designed to protect and conceal its most intimate secrets. As the night deepened, my thoughts turned inward. I recalled long nights spent wandering city streets, the neon lights of obscure bars, and the whispered conversations that carried promises of redemption and passion. I wondered if this was another fleeting moment, destined to dissolve into the ether, or if it would be the catalyst for a profound transformation in my life. I considered the possibility of danger, the allure of the unknown, and the thrill that comes with stepping beyond the confines of a carefully constructed reality. With each passing minute, the decision grew heavier, as though my entire existence was pivoting on the fulcrum of this encrypted invitation. I decided to embrace the invitation with both caution and excitement, meticulously planning every detail of my involvement. I researched the hotel, delving into its history and discovering that it had a reputation for hosting individuals who valued privacy above all else. Its corridors were said to be draped in mystery, its lounges filled with whispers of past rendezvous that had altered lives forever. I imagined walking through its grand entrance, the soft echo of my footsteps on polished marble, and the knowing glances of staff who seemed to understand that I was there for reasons beyond mere luxury. The very thought sent a shiver down my spine, a heady mix of anticipation and trepidation that made me both exhilarated and profoundly vulnerable. In the days that followed, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of preparation and introspection. I sought out the finest attire, choosing a suit that was elegant yet understated, something that would speak of confidence without screaming for attention. I practiced my mannerisms, refining the way I moved and spoke, determined to present an image of calm assurance even as my heart pounded in my chest. Every moment was charged with meaning, every decision imbued with the weight of possibilities. I realized that this was not merely an evening out, but an exploration of my own limits, a test of my willingness to embrace both the beauty and the danger that lay hidden in the shadows of desire. The night of the dinner arrived sooner than I expected. I stepped out into the cool, damp air of the city, the urban landscape transformed into a tapestry of light and shadow that reflected my inner turmoil. Every street, every alley seemed to pulse with secrets, as though the city itself was complicit in my journey into the unknown. I navigated the labyrinth of familiar streets with a sense of urgency, yet every step felt deliberate, as if I were retracing the path of someone who had come before me. The anticipation was almost overwhelming, a tangible force that tugged at my every nerve, urging me onward toward a destiny that I had long dreamed of but never truly believed could be realized. When I finally arrived at the hotel, I was struck by its quiet grandeur. The facade was understated yet undeniably alluring, a perfect blend of modern design and classic charm that hinted at the countless stories that had unfolded within its walls. I paused for a moment, taking in the cool night air and the distant hum of the city, before stepping through the revolving door into a world that was both surreal and intoxicating. The lobby was a study in elegance, with soft lighting casting gentle shadows over polished surfaces and luxurious furnishings. Every detail had been crafted to create an atmosphere of refined secrecy, and I couldn't help but feel that I had stepped into a realm where the ordinary rules of life no longer applied. I made my way to the reception desk, where a discreet smile from a well-dressed attendant confirmed my reservation without a word. It was as though my very presence was a key that unlocked a hidden narrative, a story that had been waiting for me to take the first step. I was led to an elevator that whispered softly as it ascended, each floor a silent promise of the unfolding mystery. The ride itself was brief but felt like a journey through time and space, a transition from the mundane world outside to an inner sanctum of secrets and desire. When the elevator doors finally opened, I found myself in a corridor that exuded intimacy and understated luxury. Soft music played in the background, its notes weaving through the air like delicate threads of emotion. I followed the gentle guidance of dimly lit hallways until I reached a door marked with an unassuming plaque bearing my name. Stepping into the room, I was greeted by an ambience that was both sumptuous and serene. The space was filled with subtle details, a hint of jasmine in the air, soft fabrics draped elegantly over furniture, and a table set with exquisite precision. Every element seemed to conspire to create a cocoon of privacy, a sanctuary where only the most profound connections could take root. I took a moment to absorb the atmosphere, letting the quiet grandeur of the room seep into my bones. The anticipation of the evening's unfolding events mingled with a sense of profound calm, as though I had finally arrived at the crossroads of destiny. I couldn't help but marvel at the contrast between the external chaos of everyday life and the internal harmony that now enveloped me. This was a space where time appeared to slow, where every moment was suspended in a delicate balance between past regrets and future hopes. The room whispered of stories untold, of secrets shared in hushed tones and promises that defied the constraints of ordinary life. As I waited for my mysterious companion to arrive, I found myself reflecting on the serendipity that had led me to this point. Memories of past encounters, each one a fleeting glimpse of passion and risk, flooded my mind. I recalled the nights spent in dimly lit cafes, the stolen moments in hidden gardens, and the exhilarating rush of dancing on the edge of forbidden love. Yet, none of those experiences had ever left me with a sense of fulfillment quite like this moment did. It was as though every decision, every twist of fate had converged to lead me to this singular point in time, a moment of complete vulnerability and exhilarating possibility. The anticipation grew with each passing minute. I could almost hear the echo of footsteps in the hallway, feel the soft murmur of a voice that would soon join me in this intimate setting. Every sound, every whisper of the wind outside seemed amplified, carrying with it the promise of the unknown. I found myself grappling with a mixture of emotions, nervous excitement intertwined with a deep-seated curiosity about the person who had orchestrated this clandestine encounter. Who were they? What secrets did they hold? And most importantly, what part of my soul would be illuminated in the shared glow of this enigmatic evening? In that quiet space, time seemed to stretch endlessly, each second a measured pause before the inevitable collision of two lives destined to intersect. I spent these moments in silent reverie, letting my thoughts drift between hope and caution. I considered the risks involved, of stepping into a narrative that was written in whispers and shadows, of surrendering to an experience that could upend everything I thought I knew about myself. Yet, the allure of the unknown was too potent to resist. It was a calling that transcended logic, a magnetic pull that beckoned me to leave behind the safe confines of my familiar routines and venture into uncharted territory. As the minutes turned into an hour, I felt an almost imperceptible shift in the atmosphere. The gentle hum of anticipation gave way to a palpable energy, a stirring that resonated deep within my chest. I rose from my seat, smoothing out the fabric of my carefully chosen attire, and moved to a window that overlooked the quiet city below. The urban nightscape shimmered with a soft luminescence, each light a silent testament to lives filled with dreams, secrets, and the inevitable passage of time. I wondered if, somewhere out there, someone else was also waiting for a moment like this, a moment of liberation, of connection, of transcendence. Just as I began to wonder if my thoughts were simply the product of an overactive imagination, the sound of footsteps reached my ears. I turned, and there in the doorway stood a figure whose presence seemed to command the very air around them. They moved with a grace that defied description, their eyes reflecting a mixture of warmth and mystery that immediately put me at ease. In that instant, all the doubts and fears that had plagued me melted away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of destiny. Our eyes met, and in that silent exchange, I felt as though I had been recognized, not just as a participant in a clandestine rendezvous, but as someone whose soul was familiar with the language of hidden passions and unspoken dreams. Without a word, the figure extended a hand in greeting, and I found myself compelled to accept the invitation to embark on this journey together. We exchanged the kind of glances that spoke volumes, a silent conversation of trust, intrigue, and the unyielding pull of shared secrets. As we moved deeper into the intimate confines of the private dining area, I could sense that every detail of the evening had been orchestrated with care, a delicate choreography of moments designed to evoke emotions long buried beneath the surface of everyday life. The dining room was a masterpiece of understated elegance. Soft candlelight flickered across the table, casting delicate shadows that danced in rhythm with the subdued strains of music playing in the background. The ambience was one of both opulence and intimacy, a space that invited confessions of the heart and silent revelations. I took my seat, my mind racing with questions about the person who now sat across from me. Their smile was enigmatic, hinting at stories and experiences that I could only guess at. In the delicate clink of silverware and the soft murmur of conversation from a few discreet tables around us, I could sense that I was witnessing the unfolding of a narrative that was as old as time, one of passion, risk, and the tantalizing promise of transformation. As the evening progressed, the conversation flowed naturally, as if we were old souls reuniting after years of separation. Every word, every shared glance seemed to peel back layers of our guarded selves, revealing vulnerabilities and hidden desires that had long been locked away. I found myself opening up about my past, the mistakes and triumphs that had shaped me into the person I was today. In turn, my mysterious companions shared their own journey, a tapestry of experiences woven from threads of joy, sorrow, adventure, and regret. The dinner became more than just a meal, it was a communion of souls, a meeting of minds and hearts that transcended the mundane and touched on something profoundly elemental. I remember a moment when a soft laugh escaped me, and my companion reached across the table, their hand briefly resting on mine, a gentle, almost imperceptible gesture that spoke of empathy, understanding, and the promise of connection. In that fleeting touch, I sensed the weight of past heartbreaks and the healing power of newfound trust. The conversation turned to dreams and aspirations, to the things that we both hoped to achieve, and the fears that still haunted us. The interplay of light and shadow in that intimate space became a metaphor for our own inner lives, a delicate balance of vulnerability and strength, of hidden pain and radiant hope. Time, in that space, seemed to dissolve. I lost track of minutes, caught in the rapture of a night that defied the ordinary and embraced the extraordinary. Every detail, the subtle aroma of the carefully prepared food, the warm glow of the candles, the gentle murmur of voices, was etched into my memory with a clarity that I had never experienced before. I felt as though I was standing at the threshold of something monumental, a transformative moment that would reverberate through every aspect of my existence long after the night had ended. By the time dessert was served, a delicately crafted confection that tasted of nostalgia and promise, I realized that this was not merely an evening of culinary delights, but a journey into the depths of my own being. My companion's eyes met mine in a silent acknowledgement of the gravity of the moment, a shared understanding that we were both embarking on a path that was as uncertain as it was beautiful. There was no need for grand declarations or dramatic revelations. The very act of being present, of opening oneself up to the possibilities that lay hidden in the night, was an act of quiet rebellion against the constraints of a predictable life. As I sat there, savoring each bite of the dessert and every word that passed between us, I felt a stirring deep within, a dawning awareness that the encrypted message I had received was not just an invitation, but a turning point. It was a reminder that life's most profound experiences often arrive unannounced, cloaked in mystery and wrapped in the unexpected. That night, as the shadows lengthened and the soft strains of music faded into the background, I made a silent promise to myself. I would embrace the unknown with all the passion and courage I could muster, knowing that each step forward, no matter how uncertain, was a step toward discovering the true essence of who I was. When the evening finally drew to a close, we lingered in the afterglow of shared intimacy, reluctant to let the enchantment slip away. My mysterious companion walked me to the exit, their presence a comforting anchor in a sea of fleeting moments. Outside, the cool night air was a gentle reminder that reality awaited, with all its inevitable challenges and uncertainties. Yet, as I stepped back into the familiar rhythms of the city, I carried with me the echoes of that transcendent encounter, a reminder that in the labyrinth of life, moments of raw, unfiltered connection can change everything. Even now, as I reflect on that night, I feel the weight of its significance. It was a night that reshaped my understanding of trust and intimacy, a night when the encryption of secrecy was replaced by the clarity of a shared journey. The invitation had been more than a message, it was a call to awaken parts of myself that had long lain dormant, to step beyond the boundaries of convention and into a realm where every emotion was amplified, every sensation heightened. I walked away from that encounter not as the person I had been, but as someone transformed, a seeker of truth, a believer in the beauty of vulnerability, and a guardian of the delicate, fragile magic that connects us all. As I continue on my path, the memory of that evening remains a constant companion, a secret treasure tucked away in the recesses of my heart. It reminds me that even in the midst of an ordinary life, extraordinary moments can arise without warning, inviting us to take risks, to love deeply, and to embrace the unpredictable dance of fate. That encrypted email, with its promise of a secret reservation and a decadent dinner, was the spark that ignited a flame that continues to burn, illuminating the dark corners of my soul with the light of possibility and the promise of endless discovery. In the silent hours of the early morning, as the city began to stir and life resumed its relentless pace, I found myself revisiting the sensations of that night. I recalled the taste of every bite, the warmth of every whispered word, and the profound sense of connection that had enveloped me in its tender embrace. I understood then that life is a tapestry woven from such moments, each thread vibrant with emotion, each intersection a testament to the enduring power of hope and desire. The encrypted message had been a catalyst, a gentle yet insistent nudge urging me to break free from the monotony of a safe but unremarkable existence, and to step boldly into a narrative filled with mystery, passion, and the promise of transformation. Now, as I write these words, I feel both the thrill of reminiscence and the steady pull of what is yet to come. The journey that began with that solitary encrypted email continues to evolve, and though the destination remains shrouded in uncertainty, the path itself is illuminated by the courage of those moments when I chose to follow my heart, even when it led me into the unknown. The night of the secret dinner is etched into my memory as a testament to the idea that sometimes, the most significant chapters of our lives are written not in broad strokes of certainty but in the delicate interplay of risk, desire, and the quiet, persistent belief that we are destined for more than the ordinary. Even as the days pass and the memory of that encounter begins to fade into the tapestry of everyday life, I hold on to the lessons it imparted, the importance of vulnerability, the beauty of hidden connections, and the profound truth that every encrypted message we receive, whether in the form of an email or a whispered secret, has the potential to alter the course of our lives in ways we could never have imagined. That night, in a room filled with soft candlelight and whispered confessions, I glimpsed a future where the boundaries of fear and love blurred, where the promise of connection eclipsed the mundane, and where every heartbeat resonated with the unspoken truth that we are, in our most authentic form, seekers of magic in a world that often forgets how to dream. I now carry that flame with me, a quiet ember that fuels my every step and reminds me that sometimes, it is in the most unexpected moments that we find the courage to rewrite our stories. The encrypted invitation was not merely an invitation to a decadent dinner, it was an invitation to live, to love, and to embrace the unpredictable beauty of the journey ahead. And so, as I move forward, I do so with the quiet confidence of one who has tasted the forbidden sweetness of destiny, forever grateful for the night when an encrypted message became the gateway to a world of secrets, passion, and endless possibility. The journey has only just begun, and every moment that follows is imbued with the quiet promise that life's most captivating chapters are those we write with our own hearts. I find myself eagerly anticipating the next twist in the narrative, the next encrypted message that will beckon me into a realm of mystery and wonder. And as I close my eyes each night, the memory of that transformative evening remains a beacon, urging me to never shy away from the unknown and to embrace the ever-unfolding story of who I am and who I might yet become.